Most people don't really want the truth. They just want constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth. That is the quote that we are breaking down today. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Quote Breakdown, which is brought to you by the Almost Podcast. Again, this is a show where I break down the post and the quotes that I put up on social media, give it a little bit more context, give it a breakdown. Shout out to the audio listeners of the podcast, which is the Apple Podcast, the Spotify's, the Anchors, and wherever else this podcast is distributed on. I know many people listen to multiple platforms, but those are the main ones that people are really rocking with. Shout out to the video version of the podcast, which is the YouTube. Welcome to the show. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't done so yet, please share this with somebody you know. And let's get right into it. The caption of this quote is: a person like this is not serious about knowing what is true. They want safety from the lie they tell themselves. Now, this quote here is not originally mine. I get a lot of this stuff sent to me, right? A lot of quotes that people say, "Hey, Anthony, this sounds like you. This sounds like something you would say." And a lot of stuff is not really what I would say, and the tone is not really it. And sometimes I don't agree. But this one right here, it has no name attached to it. It's unknown, but it's something that I have said before. But this particular post is not mine. This quote is not mine, but I have said something very similar like this before. But again, I got to give credit when credit is due. Unfortunately, there's no name attached to this, but this is a very, very uh, similar thing that I've said before. This sounds like me, right? And I know a lot of people send me this stuff, and uh, and most of the time I use it, right? If I agree, if it does sound like me. So let's break this down, right? Why do people? Why do most people not really want the truth? Why do people want a constant reassurance that what they believe is true? Now, again, like I said in the caption here, is they want the safety from the lie they tell themselves. But the bigger question is, why does one want the safety? Why does one want the security? Now, let's break this down, right? Human beings have the ability, since the beginning of time, we have the ability to create illusions, right? Look, we live in illusion every single day. There's things that we care about that actually don't matter, right? Well, let's just say there's things that we care about that's not actually real. It's not reality, right? We just made it and turned it into reality because we live in this illusionary fantasy world, which is something like, for example, we would say time, right? Hey, meet me at 6 o'clock p.m. What does that even mean, right? Human beings, we created that stuff. We created the days, the weeks, the months, the years, right? Just to create structure and order in the world, right? But we follow that. So we make it real, right? And also money, something like money. We gave that meaning. We gave currency meaning. But in the beginning of time, there wasn't any of that stuff, right? There wasn't, hey, it didn't exist. We would go based on different things. Just think about, how would we know where to meet at? We would say, hey, look, by the rock near the river, right? Meet by the rock in the river during sunset, or when the sun's coming down or the sun goes up. um, when the sun is to the left or to the right, and we would study the way the sun, the moon, how it would come out, and that would be our type of time. Um, Daylight, darkness. Um, Also, we would go based on, if we look at studying patterns, right? Because we have the ability to create future stuff. Like, for example, the years, saying, hey, year 2020, 2021. That is us having the ability to think in future terms, right? To think in the future. And, we did that when we were hiding in the trees, and we would study the patterns of the buffalo. We would study the patterns of the animals, of the tigers and the lions staying on the trees. And we would see their patterns, their habits. What would be the best time to strike? What would be the best time to, to maneuver in a way where we won't get attacked or we won't be interrupted, right? we would study patterns and we would stay there for days on top of the tree. We have the ability to think long term, to be patient, right? At the same time, all of this allows us to create psychological illusions, right? Which creates safety for us, which creates security for us. It puts us in a place where we feel safe, where we could be like, okay, cool. I now know what's going to happen. That in reality, we don't know what's going to happen, but in our mind, we protect ourselves and say, this is what's going to happen, right? It's why people would stay at a job for 40 years in hopes to get a paycheck at the end of it, right? A retirement plan. This is the model that people bought into because they say, okay, I know what to expect. I have this security. I know what's going to happen within the next 40 years if things stay the same. This is what's happening. This is what they're saying to themselves. And when I'm done, when I retire, I will have money coming in every single month, whether I work or not. Not realizing how that system is rigged, right? How that system actually works. However, the point is, we have the ability to think that long. We have the ability to say, yeah, we're going to live that long. This is what we're going to do. This is the safety of it. I don't have to worry about this. So we have that ability, right? But we don't actually know what's going to happen, right? We don't know if we're going to see the next day. We don't know whether or not we're going to be around by next year. But we will plan for next year. We will plan for the next 5 years. We will plan for 10 years, right? Just think about how many people today has passed away and they weren't planning on it, right? They didn't even think about that. They thought about, they had 5 year plans and they probably had retirement plans and they probably had so many things lined up, but they didn't think about their death like that, right? They didn't think about today was going to be the day. So my point is, people want the safety from the lie that they tell themselves. It gives them psychological benefit. It gives them psychological safety. So when someone hears the truth, right? If you tell somebody the truth who's built these safety nets around themselves, who's built this lifestyle that's designed to protect them from seeing the reality of their situation, right? It's designed to protect them from the unknown, right? Because they want to be in the known. And as long as somebody's in the known, they feel safe. If I know what's going on, right? It's the reason why people, when people are feel like they're losing in life, right? If they have controlled the situation, they're okay with it. It's why, okay, I'm in a losing situation, but I know how the situation feels. I know how this feels being, I can maneuver within the lost. But to get out of that is I'm unsure. I'm uncertain. What if I fail? Not realizing that they're already failing, but it doesn't feel that way because they're in the known. It's like, I don't want to pursue this because what if I fail? I don't want to, attack my goal or this dream I claimed that I wanted, right? I don't want to go after anything because if I fail, what if I don't make it? It's going to be a waste of time. So people would stay in the lost, meaning they will stay in failure and maneuver within the failure because they are in the known, which creates the safety and security that they want, right? So people don't really want that illusion destroyed. They don't want this idea that their safety nets is just fantasy and illusion. They want to see things that remind them of what they believe is true, so they're looking for it and they're searching for it and they will alter what they see. This is why in the caption I say a person like this is not serious about what knowing what is true, because when they see the truth, they will alter it in a way. It's like, no, 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 that's not it. And they would mold it in a way that fits what they believe is true because they want to stay in that illusion. They want to stay in that psychological protection, that safety, that security they give to themselves because they're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of this. What would happen if this actually destroyed all of the safety nets that I have up, all of the protection? If it destroys all of this stuff, and I actually have to face reality, what's going to happen? Right? Will I survive? Will I be able to do this? What's the next thing? Like, the people are so unsure, which is why they don't want to see what is. They do not want to see what is. They only go based on what they wish it was. And that is what most people are doing. So that is the reason why most people don't really want the truth. And they just want the constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth. And that is the fact. So, that being said, family, I want to thank you so much for listening in. If you haven't done so yet, please like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Please leave a review on the show if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts. And I shall catch you guys next time. Appreciate you all for listening in. Take care. Peace.